Okay, hi. So if you're hearing this, that means I'm back on the algorithm channel after a hiatus from YouTube. They gave me a little bit of time off, which, that's how it goes. And I've spent some time thinking about what's going on. And I know we all have our own thoughts and opinions and views and feelings about things. And it's kind of confusing. So I'm going to spend some time and we're just going to talk about what I think's going on. And I love to hear your comments. So um, we'll we'll go and you tell me if I'm off base or add, contribute things that we haven't talked about. So we're faced with this thing in 2020 that started in 2019 in China allegedly. And now as we move forward, we see it unfold and we're watching things change while it's unfolding, which is kind of interesting to me. Usually things will unfold and then you look back and you have to see the changes, but we can see it clearly as we go. So first off, let's just talk about a couple of words. A word, the Great Reset, and the word agenda. So this is the World Economic Forum's webpage, and they've got a cool video if you want to go watch it. World Economic Forum agenda. So they have an agenda, and sometimes agendas are good, sometimes they're not. Since it's the World Economic Forum, and some of these characters, Klaus Schwab, Thierry Millet, their agenda probably isn't the best for humanity. And we've seen lockdowns, and we've seen economies being destroyed, families have problems, and it's all based on the COVID-19 Great Reset. And I personally think that is going to lead us to all of the society that we've seen in dystopic movies, from Hunger Games, Divergent, Dread, Total Recall. We could go through and you can remember The Handmaiden's Tale, District 9, A Watchman, Blade Runner, The Fifth Element, and on and on and on. And if you've seen movies, or you've seen any of these movies, even one, you know that humanity's future, as foretold in these movies, is not a pretty picture. It's full of technology that tracks and traces. It's full of political systems that don't answer to the people. It's full of very little autonomy and liberty and freedom for just an individual person. And I think that's kind of why I look into this stuff so much and why it's important to me to share things about this, because I think it's completely opposite of who we are and what we were supposed to be doing here in this realm at this time, or at any time for that matter. I do read the things those people say, and it's clear to me that they don't like their life, they don't like being human, they don't like nature, they're completely against it. And a lot of people, subconsciously feel that way because this is a hard place. It's not for the weak. And the traumas we suffer, things that happen in childhood, different things that shape our life and shape our vision of what this place is and what we're doing, it can easily be distorted, I think. When you look outside and you're watching the snow melt and the leaves fall and the animals are starting to get ready for winter, to me, that's all beautiful, normal stuff. But I think a person who wants to do a great reset or wants to control humanity in a technological, fascist, dictatorship way doesn't want to have anything to do with any of that. They want all the comforts and conveniences that our brains can think up. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with comfort and convenience, but when it's taken to a level of control over people, I think we have a problem. So hopefully as we go, this video will tie things together. I read articles a lot. Zero Hedge is one of my go-tos. And I just happened to see this. McDonald's unveils its new growth strategy. I started thinking about how the food industry has changed so much this year to where normal people who make food for you in little mom and pop restaurants are kind of going by the wayside in a hurry. And it's due back to that COVID reset thing. And how the big corporations are thriving. All their profits are up. People are going to the drive through. Come in. People are going to the drive-through. Had a little interruption there, sorry. And it seems to be that they're pushing. That's one piece of this agenda. What I thought was real interesting in this McDonald's article was this sentence right here. Another concept being tested is an ordering an ID system that will identify customers at the display screen and streamline the ordering and payment process. So on one hand, well, we all want things faster, cheaper, and easier. Streamline it, make it quicker, get going, buddy. Let's go, give me my Big Mac. But what it is, it's facial recognition, and it's probably tied to your payment account, which is very dystopian. Streamlining the ordering and payment process is what they say. So you pull up, they'll see your face, and you will talk to the lady, and you'll order, and then it just comes out of your account. Well, some people think that's a great idea. I think that's a horrible idea. On the lines of facial recognition, this is from Wired magazine, and this was November 3rd, so fairly recent. Schools adopt face recognition in the name of fighting COVID. So, so we take that COVID, Great Reset, and now they can move into all different technologies that are going to enslave humanity eventually. I promise you that, as sure as I'm saying here. It's not going to add to your freedom. It may add to your convenience, and it may add to some different aspects of how you navigate the world, but it's going to take away your freedom. And if you don't want your freedom, keep going. Just knock yourself out. Do it. Here's another one. Tech that allows restaurant customers to pay with their face is gaining traction. And this is from the uschamber.com, Chamber of Commerce branch, I suppose. A fast food chains like Cali Burger test facial recognition technology to expedite customers' orders. The tech is also being used to take body temperatures and help keep workplaces safe amid COVID-19. So you can see there's a trend and a theme so far, and it's COVID-19, the Great Reset. If we're going to really be honest about COVID-19, we have to talk about a few things. Another Zero Hedge, Fauci admitted the truth about COVID-19 tests in July and has misled the public ever since. Well, absolutely. And the author, Stacey Lennox, PJ Media, first produced it, kind of nailed it right here. And this is what we have to push back on and be vocal about, I think. One of the most frustrating aspects of COVID-19 coverage has been the emphasis on cases, reinforced by the Medicious Midget trademark. That's funny, Anthony Fauci. In fact, he was wringing his hands about the rising case numbers on CNN in early October. Here's the sentence that's everything. These numbers are actually positive tests. The New York Times and several experts admitted in late August that up to 90% of positive PCR tests were not indicative of active illness that could be transmitted to others. So 90% of positive PCR tests didn't indicate an illness. And a positive test is just a positive test. It's not a case. It's not a person, a sick person. So it goes on, and I'll try to leave some links. I'm not very good at that, but I'll do my best. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with positive tests of something, and doctors and other people have said, no, it's just your exosomes, and you can get into all that stuff. But I don't think that's what's important. I think it's interesting to know that, because you really know what you're looking at. But the simple language of a positive test is being twisted to a case, which is being twisted to a pandemic, which is scaring the shit out of people still. So I'm fully against that. I'm fully against masks. I'm fully against the nonsense mind virus that goes with this. And I'll tell you the final reason why. Daily updates of totals by week and state. Provisional death counts for coronavirus disease 2019. When we call it coronavirus disease, we know that's the cold or flu type symptoms. If we call it COVID-19, that's a mind virus to make you be really afraid of something we've had our entire lifetimes. So, interesting article, lots of stuff in it. We're going down to table one, deaths involving coronavirus diseases in pneumonia and influenza reported by the National Health something February 1st to November 7th, 2020. So November 7th is about 5 days ago if this posts up on Thursday. And you see something really interesting if you look through this. It's a pain in the ass, but so we've got just the deaths from all causes. We've got all deaths involving COVID-19. And then if we come over here, deaths involving COVID-19 and pneumonia excluding flu. Deaths involving pneumonia with or without COVID-19 excluding flu deaths. All deaths involving influenza with or without COVID-19 or pneumonia. So these are flu with or without COVID-19. So basically they're just giving you numbers, deaths involving pneumonia, influenza, or COVID-19. So they give you a lot of statistics to make it a little confusing. But what's super telling, at least from my viewpoint, is when we come down here to October and September, or October, November, sorry about that. You can see these are deaths, total COVID deaths. These are total people's deaths. So, according to October 3rd week, 55,000 Americans died. 3,600 died of what they call COVID or COVID-related or influenza or pneumonia. Because you'll go back to that. All deaths including COVID. Motorcycle with COVID, you've seen those articles. If it's got COVID in there, it's the black number. And we're still shutting down our societies. So we had a little spike there, and early October. 55,000 Americans died that week. 52,000 the next week. 48, tapering off. Get some good luck, end of October. November, first week of November is great. Only 11,000 total deaths apparently. 370 of them involving COVID. So we're being misled clearly. Not necessarily by the CDC, because they're telling you the truth according to their statistics. They do go on in here to say that reporting is voluntary. Coded by, there it is. Provisional counts based on current flow of mortality, the National Vital Statistics System. It's a pretty, I'm sure it's a kick-ass computer. So it's probably pretty accurate. But if we just use their numbers, then what we're seeing here is that COVID is not a deadly killer. Fauci knows he did the AIDS thing. You guys could look into that. He was pretty much a criminal there. But it is truly the Great Reset. We're headed towards a technocratic control grid. All the technology is in place now. We know they don't want us to be free because if we're free, we don't fund their lifestyles. So now that people ask, well, why do they want to control us and why do they want to do this stuff? Well, they've always done it. Taxation, kings took food from the serfs, so forth and so on. But what I would tell you now is that with the technology they've developed, facial recognition, they don't need nearly the number of people to pull this off. So check out the CDC, watch their stuff if you're interested. It'll give you a clear picture of what's happening in spite of what these bastards say. So I went out and I made a t-shirt for myself, medically exempt, because I got tired of it. And I added a few others, and I'm not going to link the store, although I think it automatically links, but I'm not telling you to buy one, I'm telling you what my response is to it. So I try to make videos, I don't wear a mask unless it's absolutely 100% I can't get a thing done, like when I had to go to the doctor for an injury. They just won't see you, and even though you're still injured, I think that's probably against the Hippocratic Oath, but the Hippocratic Oath is not anything legal, so forget that idea. They're making money too. So I appreciate your time. I hope this ties together okay and makes some sense of what's going on. The political aspect of this to me is completely irrelevant because whomever goes in there is going to follow the Great Reset program. Trump's already got the troops ready to give the vaccines. Biden's got the masks and ready to shut down the country. And honestly, presidential politics doesn't really affect our daily lives. So I'd say, just keep moving on, do your best, be kind to the people you care about, and keep sharing your truth. It's very important. If you made it this far, type medically exempt in the chat for me. I'm curious. I always like to know who hangs until the end. And I do appreciate your comments. Take good care and have a good day.